Hello YouTube, I'm APC, and today I'm giving you a quick tip about how to make custom alarms. So first off, let me show you the scenario. So I have a player here, and when I click, he shoots. Alright, so there's an issue that comes up in a lot of games where that involve shooting. You oftentimes want to limit how often they can shoot. So right now I have it limited to him shooting once per second or so, which probably much longer than you want it, but this is just to avoid them constantly rapid firing it. You can see how fast I'm clicking, and oftentimes in games don't want them to be able to rapid fire it that quickly. So hence we limit it, which also gives you a way to, if you have multiple weapons, also gives you a way to differentiate the weapons. So you can't shoot a sniper like a machine gun, for instance. So first I'm going to show you how I do this using alarms, and maybe that's something new to you, and then I'm going to show you how the same thing is done for custom alarms, because this is a fairly standard textbook example of when alarms are used. So first off, in the creation event, I create a variable saying can shoot, which will indicate whether I can currently shoot, and then I have this shoot cooldown time variable, and right now it's set to 30 steps. So once you shoot, you have to wait 30 steps before you can shoot again. Alright? And again, this is much longer than they'll probably have it, but just for the sake of the example, I made it a little bit exaggerated. And then we have our shooting code, which I might quick comment here. And it's fairly simple. It's just you press something and then you shoot, which is what I'm doing in these two lines. But in order to limit how often you can shoot, you add another condition. The user must provide the input for shooting, and we must be able to shoot according to our shooting cooldown, I suppose. So after we shoot, we set our alarm equal to, well, I guess first off, we set our can shoot equal to false. We can no longer shoot. And then we set an alarm to go off after our cooldown is over, which will set our can shoot back to true. Alright, so then in our alarm 0 event, it's triggered after however long your cooldown is, in this case a second or 30 steps, and then can shoot set back to true, and you can shoot again. So this way you're limited to shooting every second. Alright, so this tutorial is about how to make custom alarms, to not have to rely on the alarm system. So you probably never seen a flaw in the alarm system, but there's a couple things that can come up. First off, there's only a limited amount. I believe currently in GameMaker there's 12? Yeah, there's 12 currently in GameMaker. When I started in GameMaker 7, I think there's only 9. So yeah, if you have a game that involves a lot of alarms, you're going to run out at some point. I've never reached that limit, even come close, but it could happen. But something that has happened with me is, let's say I have 3 or 4 alarms in here. Every time I want to modify something involving alarms, I have to remember which number correlates to this action that I'm modifying. So I would need to either, kind of name them all in here, I guess, so this is shooting or whatever, and I would have to look through them like that. And if there's a long list, that could be frustrating. Or another case scenario where having them just only be referred to by numbers can cause issues is with parenting. So if I created a whole bunch of shootable objects that are limited in some way with shooting, I could say, alright, alarm 0 is the one that takes care of the shooting. And then let's say 2 or 3 objects on the hierarchy, I need to use the alarm, and then I go ahead and use alarm 0, which of course this could be 2 months later. I might not remember that alarm 0 is taken care of for this, so I would override the alarm 0 in the parent, which would totally mess up the shooting, and that can be, if you haven't seen errors like that before, it can be hard to debug. So alarm 0 has a couple of issues, and also I don't think it's very clean. So if you have events, you think of big actions, I suppose, but then alarm you just have one single line. It doesn't make sense that I should have to make the alarm event and then go in here and do that, and all that just for this one little line. This one little line is not that important. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you how this is done. So right now in code we have alarm 0, which represents how far the alarm has till it goes off. We're going to go ahead and make our own variable for that to make it ourselves. So we're going to be basically running with the way GameMaker does it internally. And so I created a shoot cooldown time, which represents the time the cooldown is at its highest. But we're just going to create shoot cooldown, which can represent how high it currently is. I was thinking I was trying to think of a better way to name these, but this was what I came up with. So the total cooldown time and the current cooldown. Alright, how much is left? Alright, so we're going to start off with -1. In GameMaker, -1 for an alarm indicates that it's done. It's not counting down or anything. -1 is where it's not being currently used. Alright, and then in our step, well, I probably could change this step. In here, I'm going to say, instead of saying alarm 0, I'm going to say shoot cooldown. And then up here, we can do the code for our custom alarm. So custom alarm. So the way alarms work in GameMaker is every step they get decreased by 1. So let's go ahead and do that. So the alarm decrease will say shoot cooldown, which I did do with a capital D, right? Yes, I did that both places. So we're gonna set decrease by 1. So you know you can just say shoot cooldown -1, something like that. But the issue with this is, well, if for whatever reason it was set to 0, because at 0 we want the action to occur, and if the user automatically customly set it to 0, and then we subtract it here, it'll go -1 without the event occurring. So we want to make sure it doesn't go below 0, or at least we want to make sure this action doesn't put it below 0. So we're going to say whichever one's highest, 0 or whatever that is. That way it will not go below 0. I talked a little bit how you can use this max variable for bounding in my bounding variables tutorial, so you can check that out if you still wish. Alright, so now it's decreased by 1, and then if it's equal to 1, or 0, sorry, that means that we're ready to perform our action, and our action is whatever you would have done in here. So, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste that in there. I mean that wasn't a whole lot to copy, but just to highlight, whatever you would have done in alarm goes in here. Alright, and that is all for alarms. I suppose I should add a quick thing here, shoot cool down not equals -1. If it's active, I want to put it in here. And also once we do our action, we want to make it inactive, so we can set shoot cool down equal to -1. Yep. That is how you do a custom alarm. Fairly simple, really. And that way you have less event clutter, and you don't have to deal with the issue of having your alarms only be identified by a number. So okay, I'm clicking really fast, but it's only shooting once per second. That works. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something new, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.